out with lead generation. And Michael here has volunteered, volunteered to present that today. And Michael has some great success and he's doing a fantastic job in the luxury market.
All right, hello, everyone. Do we have a slide?
We're getting working on it.
All right, so we have our slide, so I'll go by my notes. So really bullet points for lead generation. The first one is networking. Really networking with social clubs, golf clubs, polo clubs, boat clubs is how I've gotten the majority of my clients. My parents have bought and sold many of boats, so they have a whole group of friends that they do tours with and cruises with. And so I've been able to kind of jump into that group and gain a lot of clients that way. You can do this on your own, whether it be an active highlight club is a very popular list on the luxury market. So any type of club or social club that you get into would be really beneficial for you on that one. Community involvement as well, being plugged in, whether it's Chamber of Commerce, merchants associations, PTAs, HOAs, condos, Save the Beach. Any of those local communities are also great. You want to make sure that when you're talking with luxury clients that you're plugged in, and so that you can use these resources in clubs that you're in to give you validity, to validate who you are as a luxury agent and be part of that community. Hosting luxury open houses are big. It doesn't have to be a KW agent. You can go and do a luxury open house for another luxury agent, sell them your value. The shadow open houses are great. We have a lot of luxury open houses that we do. We do a lot of open houses for luxury. A lot of individuals get misconceptions that we do not do open houses, and yet we do a lot. It is 750,000 open house in Longboat Key on Saturday, and we had 55 people through within 2 hours.
Wow.
So we are having a huge.
I have one this Sunday, so.
And where's that?
And it's here in Clearwater
Awesome.
and Bell Ventos. It's a gated community.
Great.
And I had one a couple of weeks ago and it was in Landsbrook, in the Landsbrook area, and it was another agent and she let me do the open house there and it was awesome. I had probably 15 couples come through and I got 2 potential buyers from it. So,
That's awesome.
and it was
So,
$1 million.
Open houses work. Wow. How about
Yeah.
that? Can you just give us a little idea when you do open a luxury property, anything special that you do that you wouldn't normally do in the regular place?
Well, I do pretty high level open houses generally for all properties. And yet open houses, we always have a tent out. There's normally 1 or 2 of us working. There's a sign-in sheet so that we're making sure everyone signed in. So we know for security reasons who came through the house, also for COVID. We use flags, lots of signage. A lot of times we'll have water or maybe snacks inside the house. And then we use multiple acrylics throughout the house that have maybe a scan me or get information now. Ideally with the opens, you're going to walk one party through at a time and actually go through the details of the house while you're going through. Details, specs, features. So we do not let them normally just have run of the home. It is someone at the tent checking them in. The other agent is then walking them through and giving them the whole rundown on the home. As you know, in luxury, the marble and granite's different, features are different. A lot of the sellers would like specific things brought up for every single showing. And so you really have to take your time and walk those clients through.
How about marketing pieces at the open houses? What do you give out?
We give out a nice kind of a luxury flyer that kind of goes over the home. We're not big on giving out too many materials right now because of COVID. We've kind of really limited down the amount of paper we hold out or we send out. We do have QR codes located not only on the flyer, on the tent, so they can do QR codes that will take them directly to a high-def video with a video walkthrough of the home. And that way, if they do not want to come inside or just want to see it or show it to other individuals, they can do that.
Right.
So I'm a total spaz, and I have this whole QR code thing to me, like, I mean, I get the menu thing now, like I've got that down pat, but how would one create a QR code?
So there's QR builders. That'd be great for your admin. If it's something you can sub out. Right? There's QR code builders. You can have the QR code take you directly to the website, directly to your website in the video. You can have it take you directly to our app. So it's great. On Saturday, for example, I only brought 15 flyers. And I normally only bring a very few amount of flyers because ideally I want them asking for it, whether they're scanning the QR code, whether I'm getting their information and sending them to them later after the open. So we ran out right away. And I would say I did not have a QR code hooked up at that time. We have it now from here on out. I had at least 20 people asking QR codes or trying to scan it. So that's how popular it is. They're like, where is it? You have one for your app, yet you do not have one for your house. So we learned that tip real quick that everyone will have a QR code from now on. So we've seen the QR code just triple or quadruple since COVID. It just came back into, it was dying out and now it's back.
As a
Big time.
restaurants used it.
Restaurants used it, everyone used it, right? So now we're even making business cards up on our business cards from here on out. On the back of the business card will be a QR code that will take you directly to our app. So that's big. So
I
open
have a
house is
silly
like great.
question. On the fence or on the tent, you have one of these like fair tents or,
Yeah, it's kind of like a tent that you can put up. It's about, it's a 6x6. 8x8, 6x6 tent. You can get them with KW branding. We currently are using an all white one. We have ones on order. We're gonna have a black with red and a white with red. We also have flags that go really high up, about 10 or 20 feet, that go into the ground. And so they're outside of the
Feather
communities. Yeah. Flags, open house signs. I put 20 to 30 out per house. So I'm a big believer in that the more signs you have out, the more traffic you get. I've talked to agents many times and like, oh, I had a bad open, I only had 5 people. How many signs you put out? 5. All right. I put out 20, I get 20. It's usually one person per sign is what I figured out. So I put a lot of them out and they will tell you, wow, they're everywhere. I get a lot of compliments and we get a lot of listings because of it.
With luxury, do you go and talk to the neighbors prior to open houses? Like
So
you would in
process.
another home?
Yeah, so I'm doing level 5 and above opens. So part of that is door knocking 50 doors around and calling 200 people around. And we're step up, step down neighborhood. We're inviting them all to the opens. And as a courtesy, we're gonna let you know there's an open house going on. We know you love it here so much. Obviously, you must know someone who wants to come. Or a great time to choose your neighbor.
Are you hearing what I'm hearing? I mean, his results are because of the activities, right? And as Michael said in the beginning, this isn't just for luxury. We
No.
should be doing this for all real estate activities.
Right, and if you don't have someone else to help you with the open, just like this weekend, I have an open on Friday and Saturday, I have shadows coming. And those shadows will be my check-in individuals. And they'll help with open. So if you're not by yourself, get a shadow. I have people knocking down my door to shadow us for open houses. Especially new agents, they're all about it.
Do you find that, so say you're in like 1.5 up, do you find that they don't want open house signs, or you come up with more obstacles in those particular neighborhoods that you can't have that kind of signage going on?
It depends. Even on this condo we did, there was 0 signs or advertising allowed inside the neighborhood. So we just had 3 miles of strip of signs outside the neighborhood, right? I also set up the tent outside in the carport area. So when they came in, we could wave at them to see where we were, so they weren't looking. So again, second, third people. I've had open houses where we've had someone sit at the gates out front and wait for people to come in and drive them in or get them past through the gate. So you do have to kind of figure that out.
And Mike, if I could share with that as well, it's to your point, and this is a great example, I had the same obstacle with the home that I had in Champions Club.
Yeah.
Gated community, and that's exactly what I did. I lined Trinity Boulevard up and down, because you can't put them inside, but I lined, and I have 40 signs. Exactly what I did, same thing.
And you
Works.
can make special signs that have the address, state codes.
Yep.
I mean, there's different ways through it. And yet if it's a community that doesn't allow it, you have to be very
So
careful.
the QR codes, it would be a possibility to make up your open house signs with a QR code that maybe just went to an open house website, you could change. If you
Yeah,
had a situation
absolutely.
like that.
Yeah, of course. And yet how many people are gonna stop on the side of the road to scan an open house sign? I would say it would be more or less on the actual sign, entry sign. Because
I
no
just
one,
had- I
more
guess
people are
I
gonna
had
run it
several
over
where
or
I couldn't
steal
have
it or throw it
signs.
out than they are gonna scan it. You know, and most of our signs are made so they can be thrown out. We have lots of signs that are just, they're there because we know they're gonna be taken, thrown out, run over, or destroyed by other agents. You know,
How long do you do your open? Like, do you, a lot of times I do a shorter window because it's just that sense of urgency, like I've got to get in there because it's a 2-hour window. Do you typically do shorter windows or do you do 3-4 hour?
Generally, I do 3-hour open. On this one, in special community with luxury, we did a 2-hour open. I've also noticed that whatever time you put, they will come. If it's 1 hour, they will show up. If it's 3 hours, they will show up. I do notice when I do the longer open houses, 3 or 4, that last hour is pretty slow. And so that's why I really like the 2-hour, 3-hour opens max. Also, the 2-hour open, you can do 2 in a day, where 3 becomes a little bit long. It's now 6 hours.
Plus timing, the timing of the open house, I think is a big deal.
Yeah, so I'm always there, you know, I'm a big 12 to 3, 11 to 2, 3 to 5:30, or 3 to 5 on Fridays. I do a lot of twilight or happy hours on Fridays. Those are great for luxury as well. If you wanted to do a happy hour, we didn't really go into it, but a broker's over a happy hour where you're giving wine and cheese out to neighbors. Now, there's lots of different outside the box.
And at a regular open house that's non-luxury, I give mimosas.
Yeah.
Organic chocolate chip cookies and little finger sandwiches. So, and bottled water, that's a minimum.
Even during COVID, you do the finger sandwiches?
No,
Yeah.
that was a little
Yeah,
different.
I've changed, yeah,
No, we've changed a lot of that.
But you can
And
have
you can-
them like
yeah, wrap.
wrapped and there you go, eat and run. But I like for them to hang out, that's part of it. You want them to hang out and engage and talk to you about the property or other ones that you might have.
A lot of times, if you have water, drinks, or food, they feel obligated to stay until they're done with it. And so you capture them for longer periods of time, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not running to the car with a glass of wine and drinking and driving away.
I hope not.
Other lead generation is gonna be touring luxury builders, and resale luxury homes when possible. You know, who's outside of these communities? I had one the other day I was showing, there was a couple wanting to get inside. I asked if they had an agent. They did not have an agent they were committed to. And at that time, we went ahead and walked them through. Ended up writing an offer for them.
Is that awesome?
So again, you do not, I mean, don't steal a client. They have an agent, it's off. But if they don't have an agent they're committed to, which means signed EBBA, they are full game. Okay. I've had many agents steal my clients, so I'm okay. If there's no EBBA, they're not committed to them, they're fair game.
Tell them what EBBA is.
Exclusive buyer brokerage agreement.
Are you using one?
I would say 80% of all my clients are exclusive buyer brokerage agreements. Not all of them.
Now, when you say you met them outside,
Yeah.
what do you mean you're hanging out? by
No,
the-
I was showing another couple waiting for them, and they were there trying to get in
Oh, I see.
without an agent, and I happened to be showing in about 5 minutes later. I asked my clients first if that would be okay. I didn't just jump on them. I said, hey, this couple really like to get in. Do you mind if I quickly show them after we were done? And they were totally fine. So again, ethics is big with luxury, morals is good. Last one is, oh, I should say, another one is database. Who you're calling, doctors, lawyers, financial planners, groomers, who are luxury clients using and what services they're using. Those are the ones you want to team up with. Send referrals back and forth. Or do events and invite them to sponsor, right? When you do sponsored events, those vendors also bring all their clients. So if it's a vendor that works strictly with luxury clients, high end, you want to do events with them so they're bringing their clientele to you.
Not only that too, but that brings up a really good point. What if someone needs a jumbo loan? You would have a mortgage lender there perhaps that can do jumbo loans. And they can answer those questions because I can tell you, I am not a loan expert. So I'd rather have someone there who can answer that.
Right. And we do that, every event has a lender for us, we're big on that. Call your move up clients in your database. 3 of our clients last year that bought luxury were not luxury a year and a half ago. Right? So either things have changed in their jobs, either they added family members, whether their home went up 100% in equity, and now they're going up, We're seeing a lot of that. So that's big. So keep a pulse on your clients, see what's going on. Are they adding family members? Are they now the CFO of a company? It's a great call. They want to get a CFO house.
And on that point too, so this is where you can utilize command and how you tag your clients and making sure that you get their birth dates. Because what if I'm looking for someone who might be approaching retirement? Maybe I want to pull those folks out of my database and start marketing to them in a different way about downsizing. Or what if I know of someone who's starting a family and now they're employed by a great company? Maybe they want to move up and maybe they're able to move up into luxury. So that's a very good point.
And tagging, we tag all of our clients. If they are viewing anything over 700,000, they're a luxury tag.
Yep.
Also, any open house that they're at, just for example, we had one in Longboat Key. They are tagged open house Longboat Key and then tagged luxury right next to it. So that knows next time I have a luxury property, all of those clients are getting emails with that new property. Also, if we have an open house coming, we're inviting all of them to our open houses. If we have a listing that comes up for luxury, they're getting the video for all of them. So we're really systematic on tagging where they need to be and sending that info. Because we want to bring value.
You just can't tag enough.
You can't tag enough.
You can have 100 tags
I
on
have a
one
lot of
person.
tags.
Yeah.
I like it. And we're working with Command and Tech to actually be able to filter that better, so it will get nicer. Next, I would say events. Attend, join committees, volunteer. I do Wine the Blues, Mardi Gras events. I'm with the Downtown Dunedin Merchants Association, so I really plug in. What's great about that one is, and I'm on the membership committee, right? And so the best thing is we do a lot of fundraising where we're looking for gift cards and gifts. I work on a B2B, so I'm actually able to go to all these restaurants, all these big companies. I'm talking to owners on a personal level, getting gifts for these events. We're just building great relationships that way. And I wouldn't have it if I wasn't on that committee.
B2B is
Business to business, sorry, I'm a big. Business to business. So really the moral of the story is digging into the community to validate yourself, you know, as a person to go to in real estate and luxury, use those resources to brand yourself. Always think outside the box. You know, where are your luxury clients coming from? What are they doing? What services are they looking for? And then always be aware of your conversations. I always try to bring in luxury at every conversation I have. Even if the client I'm with is not luxury, I want to make sure that they know that I'm in luxury.
I have
I think that's it.
Linda has a question.
you mentioned joining groups like the highlight group and this and that. You specifically have to, like on a sports group like that, you just have to defend, do you have to play highlight normally or?
Normally those are play type, and yet they do need fans and cheerleaders, right?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody needs fans and cheerleaders. So if it's a sport that you really like to watch, maybe it is not getting involved in actual sport, but being there for support. Or a lot of them have vendors that they're selling water, giving sodas out. So we're fundraising events. But boat, golfing, social clubs, civic clubs, which are probably the number one.
yeah.
Things I would say. Any other questions?
Yeah, one question. From where are you making the luxury? Hello.
I'm here.
Hi, me too.
Oh. Hi. For an open house, from where are you making the luxury, the detail forms?
What was that? Where are you getting the forms? Are you doing them in command?
Sounds like the sign in, maybe.
The sign-in sheets?
Oh, no. And not the sign-in sheet. Just for the detail for the house.
Oh, I actually, there should be a class, hopefully one day in the future. Jessica Fox does one called Open House on Steroids. She talked about bringing it back, maybe. That's a great one. I've taken a lot of open house classes and I've shadowed a lot. I do about 30 to 60 open houses a year. So I do a lot, 2 a week. And we're always changing and adapting, by the way.
Yeah.
It's never the same.
Does that answer your question?
Not really. No. I'm just asking from where we can do that, like, not the open house, just for the brochure.
Oh, so the brochures, we're creating as our own individual agents or teams, our own brochures and marketing. Linda's gonna touch on that here in a hot minute. But we create that. Now, there are some forms in Command that can help you. And once you're able to earn into luxury, they actually have luxury items that you have access to as well. So you can build your brand through Command using the luxury items that they have. Does that help you?
Oh, yes. Okay. Got it.
Our design.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good question.
Michael has done a great job, and I'd love to give him a round of applause. Michael, how long have you been in real estate?
4 years.
There's something to be said for all that he knows, all that he's doing in 4 years. And the reason the reason I say this is because this can be intimidating, right? A lot of us have maybe chose not to go into luxury because it's not their thing. Maybe they don't feel like they fit in, or they have the look, or they have the lingo,
Or drive the car.
or drive the car, some of you. So I think Michael is a great example that he jumped into this, and I don't know, were you intimidated in the beginning?
No.
I think,
I've
Well,
grown up in this
that's-
business though, too,
Right.
with Mary Maids in my past, I ran Mary Maids for 30 years, so a lot of our clients were very high-end clients, superstars, actors, very wealthy people. So I think I kind of grew up in that business, seeing
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of homes. It was natural to me to go into it. And I don't get it. I think everybody puts their pants on the same,
that's right,
one leg at a,
absolutely.
unless you're Kevin, does both.
Jumps right on over. Don't make him laugh, it hurts.
Thank you, Michael.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Oh, Michael, thank you. Okay, so the listing appointment. So when I started putting this together last night and this morning, I thought, gosh, what sets it apart, the listing appointment? And the more I started typing things out and digging, Google here, Google there. I would love to think that we do the same for both. We may do something at a higher level and offer a little more for the luxury, but I wanted my message to be that you should be on your game, no matter if it's a 50,000 or if it's a 500,000 or a 5 million, right?
Yeah.
And today, I was getting dressed and I'm saying, it's cold out there, and I thought, there's something to be said about that. So I put this jacket on just to show you that I may get called for $1 million listing today. And you should think twice when you get up in the morning how you dress. And I'm not saying that we all have to dress to the nines or that we have to look fabulous, but you better be ready for that call, because I'm sure you've all been there. And when you get the call, they say, what are you doing now? And I say, I'm on my way. So you have to remember this, that dress appropriately to your client, and I'll get into that. If you're down at the beach, do you want to dress a certain way? If you have a client, do you know the client? Do they dress a certain way? Possibly match their style. However, you are the professional, act it, look it, speak it, right? So let's get into the listing appointment. So the listing appointment is your time to show them what you have. It's your time to see who they are, what do they have. And I want to start out by saying, it's so important that you are the professional. And 3 words that came to my mind when I first started preparing for this: trust, confidence, and respect. And don't we all want that? And shouldn't we be giving it? And I can tell you from experience and a higher clientele aspect, they want to see that you're confident going in. Because if you go in and you're not sure of yourself, it's not time to fake it or make it, right? It's time to know your stuff. And there's ways of doing that. So know your client. Do you do the research? And this is for all of our clients, right? Easy enough to Google them, easy enough to Facebook them. Get an idea of who you're going into. And as always, who's your audience? Husband and wife going to be there? How much time do they have? Have you ever been on a listing appointment where they say, you got 15 minutes? I'm usually here for dinner. 15 minutes. So you have to respect that. So I really felt strong about trust and confidence and respect. The trust is earned, right? So don't go in and think you're going to be buddies with the people, and you got to earn that. And they want to be able to trust you as well, and you want to be able to trust them. You're going to invest a lot. So know your market, know your people. So do you know that there's opportunities to dig deep into the clients? You can find out what type of assets they have. You can find out what type of vehicles they have. How about as far as investment properties? So if you're going into a multi-million-dollar client, you better know who you're going to be in front of, right? Know the community, know what they do. Are they a part of any organizations? If you can't find it, ask.
That's powerful.
Ask before. Hey, you mind if I ask you a few questions? How did you find me? Oh, you know so-and-so? Woo, you just, went up a few notches. Awesome. So I was referred by a client or a friend. Call the friend. Hey, I'm meeting so-and-so. Anything you can do to help me? Google them. I'm telling you, everything's on the internet, right? Their age. Sometimes it's good to know, who am I dealing with? Which generation? I'm going on a listing appointment tomorrow. An elderly woman. I've got to watch how I dress. I'm meeting a young multi-million-dollar seller. I have to be careful because especially this, husband and wife there, you better treat both of them with respect and scan both of them. Because how many times, I can tell you myself, I have been in a situation where the salesperson talked directly to me, and I just felt like he was disrespecting my husband. That is so important. Scan it, know who your audience is. Well, you can find out, what do they have out there?
The OWL network is an amazing
Yeah.
resource
There's a few
through
of them, right?
the luxury designation that you can get through the Institute for Luxury
Lynn,
Home
do
Marketing.
you research them on LinkedIn as well?
Yes.
LinkedIn,
Yeah, LinkedIn's great.
LinkedIn's
Because
another
most of them
one.
will be on
Business.
LinkedIn, not Facebook if they're
That's,
local.
Right.
I said that,
Business.
yeah.
There's
What
a
did you say,
K,
the OWL network?
OWL, OWL. There's a KW instructor, Dick Dillingham. And before every class that he's in front of, he will go on Facebook and research every student in that class.
wow.
So that he knows his audience. And I think that's pretty amazing. So you have a very good point
Yeah,
there.
how about,
They'll look into you too.
oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. So make sure your Facebook page is clean, please. There's no drugs or alcohol.
Yes, they do. They are. They got champagne.
Champagne
Champagne sets a limit.
Every now and then, but not every day.
Right.
Well, there goes the crossover.
Champagne all day, not gonna work.
We gotta stop it, clean up our act. So, I found a site that says, brought up a few things, divorces. I mean, you can find out who's divorced, you can find out their marital status. You can find out, patents, trademarks, SEC filings, corporate filings, real estate, simple things.
Court
like real
records.
estate, Cars, how many cars, what type of cars? So there's a point of going so deep, but think of this. If you're going to sit in front of someone, isn't it important to know what they do for a living? And bring that up, I noticed that you did it. It's showing that you took interest and you did your homework, which the next person may not have done, and that may get you the listing. So know your client. Second, know the property. As Michael said, you know, if it's in a gated community, what's inside the gate? Who's inside the gate? Who are their neighbors? What does the property have? Was it for sale before? And this you could do on all your pre-listings. Get the history of the property so that when you go in, I love to do this when I go into a listing appointment. I noticed that you have this. Oh, yes, yeah, I noticed that you had this listed before, and so I already have my sheet. So in 2020, you put the new roof on, and 19 is when you put the AC. You have 3 of them, correct? I mean, doesn't that show, I know what I'm talking about? We go back to confidence. Because even if you don't know what you're doing, you can easily get information and build some confidence, build some leverage with them, because I just feel as though if you come in, you know, like, hey, I'm ready to take this over, it puts them at ease, because in their world, they have people who take care of them, right? They got someone
service.
paying their bills, they have someone taking care of services, they want you to do that concierge service. Do you do that with your under 700,000? There are clients that you have to. I mean, my team will tell you, we know who they are because we know how to read that disc. We know the client, we discuss the client, and we know, do they need hand holding? Do they need us to do X for them? And once you put it out there, you better do it.
A good question that Nikki brings up in one of her classes is asking them, how can I win with you?
Right. Good point.
Yeah, we do
How can
that.
I win with
How
you?
do we win and how do we lose?
That's right. And that's the second follow-up question.
And what should we expect from you and what should I expect from you? You know.
Vice versa.
Vice versa.
Yep.
So I was in Bel Air the other day, and I don't know Bel Air as well as I do this area. I could tell you streets, I could tell you anything in this area. Bel Air, I didn't know too much. And then they started asking, so where's this? Where's that? Now, I did some research, which street are we on? Where are we supposed to find this? But I started freaking out thinking, I don't even know where the Publix is. But isn't there a Publix every mile? Oh,
There is.
that's what I said. But you know you have a Publix every mile.
It's all West.
Yeah. So know the
There's 2 of
property,
us, but-
Yeah.
know the neighborhood, know the amenities. How far are you from the beach? Very important. And then even if you've never actually sold a home in that neighborhood, a price point, having the ability to speak passionately about the lifestyle the home represents at your listing appointment can put sellers at ease. That your knowledge comes across, will be coming across in your marketing too, right? So just know that you have to know the property, you have to know the area, and if you don't, you can easily find out, right?
One of the things that I do when I go to a listing appointment is I actually have a sheet and I ask how many people reside in the home full time? 2. Okay, great. What is your average electric bill? And if you don't know, well, guess what? You can call Duke Energy and find out a property's average electric bill. So make sure that you're giving that source to your buyers. Make sure that you are finding out what's your average water bill. And the reason why we're noting how many people is because if someone's moving in with a family of 5, those numbers may change a little bit. So we're getting all of that information and we're looking like we're interested so that we can market the heck out of this property, right?
Right, if you don't know, then you do not do your research, then powerful questions are the only thing you have left.
That's right. And stop talking so much,
Yeah.
right? Ask questions, let them talk. You're there being interviewed, and I think we forget that at times, right? We're not here because I am the gift to luxury, you know? No, I'm thrilled to be there and the opportunity. So let's go back to respect, and we'll move on to what's the next one? The listing appointment. This, I feel, I've said it in many classes, that you are entering someone's home. Like, what an opportunity, and be gracious. Are you, I remember learning this like 20 years ago, when you knock on the door, remember Diana Kokoska saying, step back,
Always.
step
And
back.
down.
Yes, step back. She likes to say, hi, We had a 2 o'clock appointment.
And it's 2 o'clock.
Right there.
Now I'm like, it's 1:59. Hate me on one side. So, especially in today's times, I always say, I have a mask in my hand. Would you like me to wear my mask? And they'll usually say yes or no, but this is what I hear. Oh, I have my vaccines, and I may say my response to that. Or if you prefer, just go in with a mask. But ask, same thing you step inside. Do you shake? Or do you say, crazy times, I would love to shake your hand, just out of respect, right? So the next one is so important. Would you like me to remove my shoes? Now, sometimes I've looked at those floors and went, please say no. Right? Done that. Have some booties with you if that's the issue. And if you find out they want masks, they want booties. At the end, you say, this is what we're going to do, and we have a COVID kit. This is what we say. We have a COVID kit, and it has masks, it has booties, it has gloves and sanitizer. Would you like me to bring that? Right? So just be respectful when you're going into someone's home. And I know this is so basic, but you'd be shocked. You would be shocked. I get told all the time, that's very nice of you. Yes, no one ever asks me that.
Or maybe you wouldn't be shocked, I don't know.
Yeah, I have stories, but I won't do that now. So, I just say, be prepared and know who you're going in front of. We've all been taught the DISC, right? Now, you should know this before you even get in there, because you did some background checking, and hopefully you pre-qualify them at any level, right? Just ask certain questions. Certain questions will give you an idea of who you're talking to. And who is the decision maker? We always are looking for that, right? So when you're on a listing appointment, don't fall short in the marketing material. Don't fall short in any material, comps and so forth, because you gotta be ready to do a quick pivot. Because if you have a C personality and you don't have all the information that they may be looking for, that's not good. So, you could play with that and just turn around and say, that's a great question. Can I email that to you? Just be quick on your feet. However, if you have it, just say, I brought that. Or how about something as simple as this? I have a blank copy of the as-is contract. I can tell that you would, I do this with my seat. I can tell that you would like to read this over. Am I correct? Because now I'm verifying the CSC. 98% of them, I would love to see that. Now I'm prepared. I'm leaving something behind. Now I'm gonna go in and set my things down, of course, ask. Or if you are the type, hey, do you mind if we go to the table? I'm gonna set my things down. Some people like to give the tour, meaning the homeowner tour them, or they say, I'm gonna go tour and I'll be right back. That's not my style. I like someone to go through it with me so that I am talking to them. I'm asking questions. I'm finding, what did they love about the house? Why did they move in there? And then, if they're that S personality, oh, how cute are your kids? Oh, what age are they? If they're not, forget the kids, right? Just move through, you got 15 minutes.
On your walkthrough with them though, I always ask, do you mind if I take photos? They will not be shared anywhere publicly. I just need it for my recollection. And I'll be taking notes as we go through the house. I'm listening to everything they say, because if they have to repeat it again and again, they're going to start to get irritated. So take your notebook and your phone on the tour, get permission to take photos, just let them know it's for yourself. Make sure you're taking your notes as well. They're telling you lots of key information as they're going through.
That's right. And again, if you have some of that information, and I know this on tax records, that goes far.
Yeah.
So prospective sellers want to know one thing, that you can sell their house quickly, easily, and they're going to feel comfortable with you, right? So quickly, easily, for the highest dollar amount, right? And today, I don't know about you all, but I have a lot of people, and this is not as much in luxury, but who are pushing back on commissions, right? And this is the time to sharpen those tools to learn how to say what you need to say and say it with confidence so that you don't want to lose the listening, but at the same time, we have a lot of value. We have experience and we know what we're doing. So I had one the other day that told me about clever.com. Have you heard of Clever? Never heard of Clever.
Yeah, our kids use it for school.
Yeah, it's a new one.
Well, no, Clever is a real estate company that
Oh.
for 1%,
Yeah. It is.
they get
Stop.
1%.
I
There's
did
a
not know
KW
that.
agent, I'm gonna find you, that is working for Clever. For
So,
1%, and then you pay Clever a fee. So I was just so passionate with that conversation, I probably came off a little aggressive. What are you talking about? But
this is news.
There's a
Oh,
lot of 2%
We have a-
there too.
And a 1.5%ers I've seen too.
Oh,
So-
yeah, it's starting to be in record.
Put your scripts together, you know, get your confidence built up that this is why I'm a full service agent, right? So don't skimp on marketing materials. When it comes to luxury, I think marketing is so important. I think what you present as your first impression at that listing appointment is everything. So what does that look like with the marketing? So brochures from previous listings. Have your tablet or have your laptop with you. Let me show you a tour that I just did on one of my listings. Discuss your past listings. Discuss one of our listings. You know, just do what you have to do to give them a visual of what you can present. Keller Williams has the luxury magazines. I bring the magazine with me. I'm hoping that they won't have to be in there, but if I have to go that route, that's my plan B.
and we have that up on the screen.
Yeah. So this is something we all have access to, even if you're not a member. I was able to see that I could bring this up. And this is the Institute for Luxury Marketing. And this is something you can bring up. And it shows, first of all, it's a report, and if you can just, yeah, it's a report just showing residential, can you minimize that? Amy?
Sure.
You can email this to them, and then luxury report explain, and you can keep going through. But look how nice this report is, talking about branding, talk about luxury. This is 13 months of supply, the market in review in single family homes. Now, this is throughout the US. However, this gives them a good idea of what's happening out there. There are reports like this, or you can create reports like this on a local level. You know, numbers speak for themselves, right? And if I was sitting down and I would say to you, let's take a look at what's happening in the US. Now let's minimize that to Dallas County. Now let's come into Palm Harbor. And then someone came in behind me that had nothing. And I'm educating them on what's happening. I'm telling them about the market and how does their home relate to all this? And how will I put them out into the marketplace to attract buyers? And overall, what's my marketing plan? If you don't know what your marketing plan is, shame on you. If you don't have those colored items, how about business cards? We have 2 separate business cards. One for regular clients, one for luxury. Listing presentation, one for luxury, one for your regular clients. What are you going to do for them? What's it going to look like? And so forth. So brochures from previous listings, spec brochures that you made up for the current one that you're on right now. A presentation of your listing strategy, branded current market analysis, snapshots of the results over the past year, high quality business card, digital presentation, a well-assembled book, and your printed materials. So I have a listing, and the first agent in, top luxury agent, and that's why they went with it, because they thought they were going to get the best. House didn't sell right away. she didn't have a plan B, because everything sells over a weekend. Well, not this one. And when the seller asked the agent, well, what are we gonna do? They'll come, what are you doing? Well, we put it on Facebook. What else do you do? Because this is someone who was not a social person, so Facebook didn't mean much to her. Don't wait for them to ask you, what are you doing? You should be telling them weekly, this is what we did this week, because they already presented during the listing appointment what you're doing, right? Don't you? Yeah, we do. And then they're going to hold you accountable, right? So what you're gonna do is, what we do every Monday, we're talking to them and we're sending them an email. This is what we did this week. These were the results of what we did. This is our plan this week. Makes sense, doesn't it?
That's not just for luxury,
We
guys.
do that for every.
That should be
Yeah.
Just to
every
say she got it on the
single
market in 2
listing.
days and under contract.
That's right.
3 days.
Because that market will not stay and selling over a weekend, and you may find a property does not, and that's such a great point. What are you doing?
Right.
Right,
Or
4
why
years
am I
ago,
asking you?
4 years ago, every home on Monday had a listing report. How many showings, how many open houses, what was done, how is your ranking on Zillow?
Yeah.
I mean, that was every Monday, and we don't have to do that right now.
All the
Luckily.
feedback, that's so
Feedback,
important.
all the feedback.
But you know what, when we say we don't have to do that anymore, is that
Well,
true?
as much anymore.
As much. However, what would it look like if I put your home on the market and by Monday we had a couple offers or even one? I still want to show you, this is what we did for you. Because when they're telling their friend, oh my gosh, the Caruso group was amazing. They did this and they said they were going to do this and they did it. I mean, it's not hard, right? It's staying to the plan. You gotta have a plan first. So when you're in front of them, mapping out this marketing plan, bring samples, show the video. Everything down to, the luxury booklet that I just showed you. Create your own booklet about your team and who you are, right? So bring more data than you think you need. We mentioned that, and that was it. So everything I said, you probably heard, you've done, or maybe you had some new ideas, but just know this, that are you doing it? Is it pre-printed? Is that, how can we up that, bring it to an A++? Because when you're going into these luxury listing presentations or consultations, you gotta be on your game. You gotta be ready. And you got to know your stuff, know the market, know them, know the community, and be prepared.
Right? And if you don't know, there's agents in the office who can actually help you know. So
Don't ever say you don't know.
that's right.
Say, I'll get back to you on that.
That's right. So, we've been saying this, that if anyone out there has an opportunity for a listing and it freaks you out, and we've all been to that point at some time, I would think, come to one of us, come to anyone in the office that has the experience, has the money to put into that listing, because it could cost you thousands. It could cost you 500, who knows, it's gonna cost. But if you don't have the money, you don't have the experience, you don't have the confidence, don't lose the opportunity. Refer it out or co-list, right? Any questions?
All right.
Okay.
So thank
Very
you,
good.
Miss Linda Caruso. Fingertips. How long have you been with KW?
Forever.
A long time. Long time.
So there you go. All right, so my name is Toni Benton, and I'm doing the etiquette section of this class, which I find to be fun. Oh, look at my formatting. Sorry. Makes me crazy. Thank you for fixing that. Okay, so there is etiquette not only at luxury appointments, but every appointment, right? Right. So It's an important aspect of what every real estate agent is doing in their business. How we present ourselves, what we're wearing. When people open the door, stepping back, you know, we've touched on a couple of these things already, but it will make or break you as a realtor, right? This determines your success. Don't get too relaxed. Even if they're relaxed opposite of you, you can mirror a little bit, but don't get too relaxed, okay? All right, next slide. Introduce yourself. So if you're in a small or a large group, you're still going to introduce who you are, right? Because as Michael was saying earlier, we don't know who's in that group. Maybe there is a luxury person in there, or just anyone who has a need to buy or sell or knows someone who does. So we're going to introduce ourselves and give your full name. Hey, my name's Tony Hyden. Tony who? Where are you from? What are you doing here? Right? So my name is Tony Benton. I'm with Keller Williams Realty. Here's my little elevator pitch I'm going to give you, depending on the environment that I'm in, right? Have your elevator pitch ready for whatever the environment is that you're going into. Is it a luxury environment? Is it a fundraiser? How can you help them, right? See a need, fill a need. Be prepared to have that conversation to fill the need. Leave them with a fantastic memory of you. Give them something a little bit fun or quirky about you during conversation, but don't make it all about you, right? Because we want to know more about them and who they are. We're interested in them, right?
Can I interject right there?
Bring it on. We love this.
I think it's important too, especially if you have a scheduled appointment with a foreigner. You should be looking into the individual's culture. I'm working with someone right now, and it was interesting when I dug deep into how they respond, how they feel about family. Are they loyal and so forth? And it was interesting because the little bit that I got, I saw that when I was reading, like, okay,
It's
now I
interesting.
understand. And I had someone that found me, and they said, I only want to take up 15 minutes. I don't know where I get these 15 minutes. And she came into the office and she said, I just wanted to have a first impression. Wow. So that stuff happens. So again, what did I look like on my first impression, right? How did I receive them? So if you have a foreigner, know what's proper etiquette, handshaking, customs, handshaking. Who do you speak to? Who has the control? And right, because there's somewhere one of the partners may not.
Why is she always 10 feet back? So yes, great points. Okay. Your phone is not your friend at an appointment. And I don't know about you guys, but a lot of people have those fantastic iPhone watches. And even though I know you have one and you're doing this, I think you have somewhere to be. But even if you don't, you're reading a text message and I don't like it,
Yeah.
I agree.
right?
Yes, I've had that during an interview,
Yes.
and I said to the person, "You have somewhere to be?"
Hello.
And oh no, I'm just getting emails. John.
Phones should be on do not disturb. Everything
Dun,
should be
dun,
on do
dun.
not.
Yeah, not good.
Now, what I will say is, I do use my calculator on my phone.
Yes.
So when I bring the phone out, I always say, I'm using my calculator.
Yep.
I say that so it's not questioned that I'm checking my text.
She's being proactive in her conversation, not reactive, or leaving it up to interpretation, right? So stay off social media. Back it up one. Back it up. Social media, unless you're showing them how you market on social media, you should not be looking at social media.
I can't imagine somebody.
Shocker, right? But there's a reason this is in writing.
And let's see.
It happens.
Do not put the puppy in the blender.
Yeah, right, right. Okay, next slide. Don't be slow to respond. Now, I'm not saying you have to answer your phone and your texts and your emails all day, all night, every single day. But you are going to set that expectation, right? Hey, I don't answer my phone after 6 o'clock on Sunday. That's my family time. Right? But I will call you back immediately the next business day, which is Monday, right? So set the expectations, engage with them while you're with them. But don't forget about the other people trying to reach you, right? So I actually have an automatic setup on my phone that if someone's calling me, all I have to do is push whatever response it is, and it's one of 3. I'm at an appointment, I will call you back as soon as I'm done, or you're welcome to text me and I'll get to it as soon as I can. Right? I'm driving, I'm not gonna respond. If you were in the car with me, you would know I probably am responding, but there are moments where I probably shouldn't be like on I-4 when it starts to merge from 275. Yeah, yeah, I promise I won't text back then, but yeah, that's one of my auto responses, or I'm on the other line and I'll call you right back, right? So they know, and I set the expectation. If I don't respond right away, it's because I'm with someone else and I'm giving them the same courtesy that I'm giving you right now. So I'm setting that expectation.
You know what I'd like to ask too, and this is so basic, but when I'm at a listing appointment, I always, or even a buyer appointment, we say, tell me how you like to be communicated with, and tell me how fast you are expecting a response. So I was with one of our agents at an appointment and the person said, 1 hour. I said, you're asking that we respond to you within an hour? And he said, yeah. My agent says, oh, I'm always on my phone. I can do it even faster. I'm like, you're both crazy. And I said,
I think that was me.
and I just said, what's a reasonable response time? We will do our best, but if we're in an appointment, we won't be responding.
We're
that
driving.
fast. You know what it ended up? He's like, well, I guess that kind of sounds silly because I'm busy too. As long as it's within 24 hours. How did we go from 1 hour to 25? But if we didn't ask that,
Their emergency is not always our emergency.
true.
And how many true real estate emergencies are there? True. Like if your house is on fire,
Right.
I get it. Like I had a listing where the guy next door set himself on fire. That's probably an emergency, right?
Fire department, not your realtor.
Right?
You would.
I know. Only me. Leave it up to me. If you want a great story, I'm there for you. But hey guys, don't assume every phone call coming in is a spam call, even though it might say spam. That might be your next client. You can always hang up on the people. I don't care how you handle it once you open that phone call up,
I always try to sell them.
right?
Recruit them.
Hey, I'm sorry, thanks for calling. Do you have a property you need to sell? Right? That's a good one. I like that. I know someone else who has a foghorn and they just blow it into the phone. I don't suggest that. It's a little painful, but you know, don't assume that could be your next client. But I'm not saying answer it when you're with another client either. Okay? All right, next slide, please. Don't be late. Now this is the pot calling the kettle black. I'm getting better. I'm going through counseling and therapy with my coach on scheduling. But don't be late.
Be early.
Be early and sit there. Right? They can see your car in there. Oh boy, he's really formatting it all.
Drive the neighbor.
Must have been super messy. Actually, I do this on Apple and I guess it doesn't convert very well. Sorry. Okay, being late. It makes your client feel like they are not worthy of your time. Right? I don't care if that's for a listing appointment, and there are moments where we just can't help it. Maybe we had an appointment that ran a lot later. If you're working with buyers, how can we determine how slow or fast they're going to go through a house? We know the averages, but if you have someone and you know they hate that house, but they still want to see every corner, it's gonna probably take a while, but you know that ahead of time, so call, right? We're gonna say, hey, running a little late in this appointment. I'll be there by this time. And then you need to let that client that you're with know, hey, I have a scheduled appointment, not trying to rush you, but if you don't like this house, let's just get on to one that you might like better. Right? Okay? So just be respectful of their time. Give your most sincerest apology. Hi, welcome. How are you? Ricky, this is Ricky.
Hi, Ricky.
We have a guest, Ricky, in the class.
Franny Benton and Linda Caruso doing the.
Nice to meet you, thanks. Okay, so next slide, please. Dress for success. Hello, she put a jacket on for you guys today. Right? And it's warm in here. So. Come on. So. We know that we should mirror our clients, but. And yet. We have to dress for success at all times. So have your plan B outfit. My family calls it Bettying. When you spill food out of your mouth onto your clothes, it's a Betty. Right? So if you Betty, you might want to have a change of clothes because you don't want to walk into that appointment that they need to see right now. And you've got a Betty on your clothes, right? We don't want to do that.
I think too, with luxury, you should have some outfits that might be a little bit above. That's just my opinion. You know, I think you should
Horse jacket.
dress the part. How about cleaning your car? We're going off etiquette, but
Yeah.
hello, do you not think they're looking at your car in luxury? Yes, they are. Just the opposite. You go on an appointment and you don't want to be too flashy, take the rings off. Take certain things off, dress appropriately, because sometimes they're thinking just the opposite. Maybe, you know, you're a little too luxury level for me.
And if you're not dressed well, have a great excuse. Mine is charity, or I just came from a huge event. I apologize.
But I
For
wanted
beach
to service
cleanup,
your needs.
but yeah,
right
I
away.
wanted to meet you at your time
No,
and
that's
quickly,
okay.
so, have a great excuse if you're not
And that
dressed
would be a
nicely.
phone call. If
That would be a
you
phone
went-
call,
I would just
yeah.
say, listen, I just want to
Yep.
tell you in advance,
Absolutely.
I just came from a charity event and a golf tournament.
Yep.
And I'm not dressed as much as I typically would be.
I might smell offensive if it's the summertime, just so you know. Have a few beers. Oh, good.
No, not like that. No.
So,
We're realtors, we get a pass on the beers.
right, but part of your presentation isn't how you dress. And actually, you gave me one of the greatest tips in the world. I go to that car wash all the time now. There's like a little drive-through car wash. You just go right on through.
In
They
Oldsmar.
have the vacuum sealer for you. I mean, my car has never been so clean and so happy. So, yes.
I was gonna say, we were always taught not to drink with the clients, right? You're there for business.
Yeah.
If they offer you a beer or wine, we normally say, hey, we like to keep it business.
Yeah.
If we're meeting out, now if we're meeting out at a wine tasting, there may be one class, but it's known that it's not normal.
Don't go off the deep end. We'll get into that too. It's a great point.
Yeah, I agree with that. In addition to, would you like something to drink? If they're drinking, get something to drink. I don't mean alcohol. But, yeah, if they offer you water and they have a cup of coffee or something, yeah, that would be great. I appreciate that. You're still working.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's so gross. It's like, I'm good. I'm good. Like, oh, I'm not drinking out of that glass. So, yeah, more. It's true, isn't it? Go ahead.
Linda brought up a good point earlier about cultures. Some cultures don't like to see a lot of skin showing on females. Research that. You don't want them to be uncomfortable, right? So,
And I always felt that too with young, attractive people. When you're in front of the husband and wife, you better watch yourself because you could be really intimidating to that spouse or attractive to this spouse. So you really have to be careful and mindful. You are the business person. You're not there to be the hottie. And treat them both, like I said, with respect. I've seen that actually happen where people have told me we didn't go with that because she was just this and that. You don't want that.
check please, right? We go out to eat a lot with our clients. At least I do. I like to eat, so I go a lot. Offer to pay the bill. Even if they refuse to let you, at least offer, okay?
How do you do that? What do you say?
We maybe go, I just go, I go up to the host store before, and just tell them, go and take care of it. And then they'll come up and it's done. They just take it all right out.
You could do it that way. You can say, look, the person normally inviting you is the one who pays. I'm inviting you to a restaurant, therefore I will pay. Thank you for eating with me. I got to know you more. I'm really excited about that. But I've invited you. It's like if I'm inviting you into my home, I'm not gonna make you bring the food and the wine, right? So.
Credit card roulette. You do credit card roulette.
There you go. I like that. How do we do credit card roulette, Michael?
Everyone puts a credit card in a basket, you blindly choose the card, and that one pays the whole bill.
Voila, there you go. How fun is that? So he just, if you couldn't hear all of our little Zoomers out there, you can put your credit cards into a basket or a pile or red basket, whatever you got, swirl it all around and have the waitress or someone pick it. Have fun with it. I love that. Okay, next slide. Hey, bartender. Y'all know that song? I'm not gonna sing it. Even though it's Tony Benton, it's not Tony Bennett, so don't mix it up. I don't sing that well. But whenever you are at a social event or dining, we've already talked about this. Go easy on the alcoholic beverages, or how about none at all? Okay? You should always have control over yourself. And if you like to have a lot of fun while drinking, well, that's certainly not gonna happen, right? So stay away, have a drink. If you want to fake that you're drinking, get a wine glass and put some colored something in there. I don't know, rosé all day. Okay, bring your little pack of Kool-Aid stuff that you can mix and take your vitamins while drinking water, make it look like a mixed drink. I don't care how you do it. Get creative if you want. That way they're not bugging you, but you're still in control. Okay, next slide.
Soda and lime.
Club soda and lime. There you go. Yeah. You can pull the bartender or waiter or waitress aside and let them know, hey, this is how we're gonna roll tonight. Okay? So when I say vodka tonic, it's really a soda tonic. Okay. Mind your manners. If you are meeting someone somewhere, offer them a drink. Any showing appointment that I have my cooler with my little ice packs, and I have water. I have protein bars, and I always offer lunch or breakfast or dinner, whatever mealtime we're at, I always offer. So I build in time for that, which is probably why I'm not always on time, right? But offer them something when they meet with you. If they come into your office, offer them coffee. You have a coffee maker, we have a coffee maker, there's water here. So offer them something. Hold the door open for people. Right? Or how about open their car door? Hey, let me get the car for you. Great, there we go. That easy. I had a client who was 55 plus, we won't give out ages, but every time he knew I was coming for an appointment, he would wait in the driveway and open the door for me. I felt like a queen. So we should be making our clients feel that way, right?
That's why you gotta have a clean car.
That's right.
That senior may be opening up.
And it's no joke, right? It's true.
Standing out,
The
when they
trash
get
box.
all the.
Yeah.
everything.
Everything, every angle, they're watching. watching you. And oh, by the way, at your open houses that you're doing, don't just assume it's people looking for houses. They might be interviewing you to see how well you're doing that open house.
I had one on Saturday,
We had a couple on Saturday.
where the mom and dad came in to see how we were doing.
Ouch.
We didn't know it.
And they all have cameras, by the way. Every luxury home has cameras
Yeah,
and video.
Yeah.
And audio.
which you should be disclosing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I always make sure you tell the clients, you never know if there's a camera and that you're being videoed or audio.
And as an agent, we don't want to be held liable for something that we're saying or, you know, downplaying the house or saying something bad about it. So just reserve your comments to off property.
And don't think because you're outside and you're doing one of these or on your phone, they can't hear you. I recently had someone who was bad mouthing the seller to the other agent. And then she said something negative to the buyer. This is her listing.
Ouch.
And the seller throwed it off.
Yeah, there's a good reason. to
If
be
I
outside.
know they're listening, that's
I'm
usually when I'm telling them that it's priced too high.
Seller pricing.
Yeah, I didn't tell them the price in here.
Uh-oh.
No, but you know, we do, you have to be very careful.
When you're at a meal, bless you, when you're at a meal, don't start eating before they do. Right? Always. Have them sit down, make sure they start eating, and now you can start eating. And oh, by the way, where does your napkin go? On your lap, right? Have an extra one to wipe your mouth. Or if you just use this, or if you do one of our kid things, right?
Or you have a Betty.
Yeah, we Betty. Just, oops, look at that all day, sorry. All right, next slide. Watch your mouth. Now, you've all been with me socially, you know that sometimes I don't watch my mouth, but that's social, that's not business, okay? Cursing can show a lack of professionalism. And they might question, well, how well educated is this person if these are the only words they know? That's what I say to my kids all the time, right? Even if they curse, refrain from it. Just don't do it. Don't make it a habit. Don't do it. If you slip, say, I'm sorry, did not mean to say that. Okay? Even if you're trying to do it for dramatic effect, don't do it. All right, next slide. Don't be messy. We talked about this. If you're not organized, how do you think your client's going to feel about how you're going to market their home or handle their transaction? Right? If your office is messy like mine is right now, meet them in a conference room. Those are clean, right? So this goes to your office, it goes to your car. And where else do you think this might extend to?
Everywhere in your life.
Yeah. Presentation. If you have a messy presentation, how are you going to handle this transaction on a luxury listing or anyone for that matter? There's a lot of moving parts that we have to handle, right? And in luxury, hello there. In luxury, those parts become even more because now we're probably scheduling videographers and we're waiting for the day to be sunnier and we're waiting for who knows what, that dolphin to come by. I don't know, but we've got a lot of moving parts. Okay.
You know what I like to do too is know the vendors you're bringing into that house and you or someone else from the team be there with them. I had an experience where the photographer came in a t-shirt, not for a better word, light beating t-shirt, remember those?
Oh, yeah.
And he walked up and I went, what are you doing? And he had shorts on and I went, oh, no, we canceled. He's representing me. Yep. Right? For as simple as that sounds, can you imagine that? Yeah. Oh my God.
We're not in Key West, folks. Because they come off the fishing boat in Key West and they'll show you a house, but we're not there. We're in Tampa Bay. Okay. Yeah. This is a long one, I know, but the other thing too is don't be messy about your personal life with your clients. They don't want to hear your drama. Everyone's got enough of their own. This is a business transaction, not personal. Want to talk about your personal life? Call your mama. Okay?
This goes back to this. DISC, know your client. I feel them out, I'll say, so how many kids do you have? And if they get into that, I know who I'm dealing with. If they just drop it, I don't bring that up again. I really try to understand who they are, and it's not about me. It's never about me. And they want to know that.
Yeah. So we're in Florida. Florida is a melting pot of all kinds of cultures. So that's why there's a big focus on this, right? Linda brought it up earlier. What's normal in one culture may not be normal, or it could even be insulting in any other culture, right? So when we say thumbs up, it means up yours in other countries, right? Just something that simple. So be aware, okay? Eye contact. Don't assume that it's always okay. For Americans, our culture, yeah, we do that, right? Eye contact. But in others, it's not okay, okay? Alcoholic beverages, we talked about this, but now we're talking about it on a cultural level where some may expect a couple of drinks prior to meeting and talking about business, where others don't think it's okay.
Say I had one, I had to take a shot at Ouzo. We all took shots of Ouzo after we signed the offer.
See?
Okay.
Whether you like it or
Grandma,
not,
everyone, and they weren't letting me out without it doing it. It was homemade and just one. but
because it could have been offensive if you
It was
didn't,
gonna be very offensive.
right? I don't even know what ouzo is.
What is Ouzo?
There we go.
It's like
Like black
Greek
black
licorice alcohol.
Oh.
Homemade.
Yeah.
I just got that in a gift exchange.
It's gross.
Oh, boy, yeah. Does anyone want Linda's ouzo? Just. It's already re-gifted.
But it was a culture thing, and the whole family was there. Grandma, aunt, uncles, they were all very happy.
Right. And speaking of gifts, some cultures it may be important to give a gift. Right? While others, it's just a nice thing, even if it's a little marketing gift, right? Maybe it's your insulated tumbler or whatever that might look like. Those little drinks that I bring, they're in a insulated lunch thing. Here you go, bring it to the next one. But if not, I'll have one for you anyways, okay? Punctuality, I don't think that we can pound this in enough. Some cultures, it's okay to be late because they're just way back. But in others, it's offensive. Again, you don't respect their time, you're not going to respect their transaction. Handshaking and touching. I am a very touchy-feely person and COVID is killing me. Right? Karen knows this, she's been out with me. So we've actually spent a whole week together at family reunion, which is coming up this coming month. So it is acceptable mostly around the world to do handshakes, right? But in some countries, maybe you kiss on the cheek. And others you may bow, right? So we just have to be mindful of that. Some countries prefer a nice handshake that's a little more soft and warm and fuzzy. That's not Americans, right? As young boys, I have 3 boys, I taught them, you get in there, you give a firm handshake and you look them in the eye. Get in, get out, just like that. And if they didn't do it, I had them redo it. I'm sorry, my son's learning how to shake hands. Do that again. I'm that mom, right? But it's fun. We have fun with it. All right, next slide, please. More cultural differences. Shocker, right? Mirroring can be important. It includes posture. It includes tone of voice. Now, even within the United States, we have a lot of kind of cultural differences. In New York, they do tend to speak faster in the city. And they may talk louder and they may talk over you. Right? But in Tennessee, They may talk slower. And they may wait for you to finish talking before they interrupt. So you have to kind of know those differences. Body language. This is a big one. Again, remember, this ain't A-okay, we're doing good. This is up yours. And I won't even get into what this means. Okay, so crossed arms. Who knows what crossed arms mean? Yeah.
Or just cold.
You know, when you have buyers going through a house and this is what they're doing, they're probably not loving it. So learn about body language because it will help you. Because you may have buyers who feel bad about telling you what they're thinking. I always tell them, look, it's not my house. I won't be offended. Please let me know. Okay? But body language will say it all. Fidgeting. Foot tapping, hair twirling. Not really interested in what you have to say. Sorry. Right? If I'm doing this, I'm distracted, just not paying attention to what you have to say. Right? Or pen clicking. Right? Hand gestures, we went over that. I won't beat that up too much. Study the culture prior to meeting with them. And how do we know which culture prevails? Well, if I'm visiting France and I'm doing a transaction there, I'm going to follow their customs. Most of the time in the United States, they would follow ours. However, I would still research if it's a client that's flying in, or if they've not been here longer, if they're really strong in their culture, just like Linda says, she went to an appointment and she observed it all in the household. Right? So don't discount it because they live here. It still may be a big factor in their lives. The other thing is, let's not forget about fair housing issues. So we're not going to discriminate either, right? We're telling you what you should do, but we're also going to remember not to discriminate. All right, next slide. And we're almost done. We'll be wrapping up here very soon. So I have some questions. If you're a Zoomer, you can unmute yourself and answer. Which culture places a premium on building relationships and prefers to take their time getting to know their counterparts in initial business meetings?
What is European for 200?
Specifically,
Oh, I don't know.
you're close, you're close.
English?
So a lot of people in France,
Italian.
they prefer to get to have a very casual conversation first, maybe over coffee or wine, right? And then let's get to business. They're also the ones who may kiss you on the cheek, right? Which country taps the nose to indicate a discussion involves an important secretive matter?
Taps the nose.
An important secretive matter. India. England. You know that? Exactly. Who believes that showing the bottom of your shoe to another person is a sign of disrespect? Middle East. Middle Eastern countries. Who believes that gift giving is important?
Middle East. Asian.
I was
Specifically
gonna say Japanese.
Chinese?
Chinese and Japanese folks, right? China and Japan, gift giving. Who encourages a warm, fuzzy, personal handshake? Where's our Zoomers? We missed you guys. Anyone want to jump in on that one? Who encourages a warm, personal handshake? I'll give you a hint. It's not North America,
South America.
specifically Brazil, right? And I worked with a Brazilian family and they were a lot of fun. Very touchy feely.
Yeah,
right?
but they kiss, not handshake made in men to men, but
Right, they're a kisser, they're huggers, they're touchy-feely, right? But they want something more warm and personal. All right, next slide. Promises, promises. This is every single transaction, guys. Promise what you can deliver. Do not under-promise and over-deliver. I really don't love that comment. Just promise what you can deliver, and if you happen to go over, great. Okay, meet all your deadlines. And if you can't, well, you might want to be proactive and call them and explain why. But keep your promises. It's importante, very important. Next slide. Okay, good resources, in case you're wondering. If you were members of the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing, they actually have an online resource for you. It is the online kiss bow or shake hands. So basically you could type in France and learn whatever you need to know about France. Right? Great resource. And then the Institute for Luxury Home Marketing also has a guide, Rich Buyer, Rich Seller. It's a guide to working with luxury. Okay. And the final slide, for those of you who were in the class, please let us know how we did by going to kwugeval.com. It's really important for us to know how we're doing. If we're doing great, where we need to do better. So please let us know how we're doing. And then, of course, as Gary Keller has been quoted in The One Thing, more than anything else, expertise tracks with hours invested, right? All right, any other follow-up, any finished questions, any aha moments that we can share? Aha moments, anything fun, what we learned today? Zoomers, you don't have to.
My favorite.
Yes,